Hi, I'm Susan, and today I wanted to show you how I preserve my natural butterfly and dragonfly wings in resin. I did not kill these. I found them randomly just walking with my husband, and they were so beautiful that I thought I could use them in some of my craft projects, like my fairy dolls. Maybe using these for wings would be more beautiful than creating my own. And all I did was coat them with resin. So let me show you how I did this. And I also have some dragonfly wings. I found a dead dragonfly in my garden, and he was also quite beautiful. These came a little thicker, but they're really, really interesting. And you could see these on a doll, how beautiful they could be. So let's get started. Now I'm starting out with this dragonfly. He's quite beautiful. My husband found him dead in the garden of natural causes. I would never kill a dragonfly, but he is so beautiful that I wanted to use his wings because I just hated to waste the beauty of nature. And I'm just starting out. I'm going to cut the wings just right up next to the body. He's got a little dirt on him. He was in a flower pot at the bottom. My husband was weeding it and saw it there. And I'm just going to take the wings one at a time. Now this is a Silpat, which is a non-stick, and I'm going to use just the sticky back part of paper. So this is sticker paper, and you know the sticky part, the part that's not sticky, that's got the resiliency, that's the side that I'm going to use to put my wings on. And I'm going to cure both sides of these, so one at a time, and I think I'll do two at a time. And I'm just going to take some of this Japanese UVA resin, and I have basically a nail light, which is one of these smaller lights, which I'll turn on and shove it in. I'll show you under the camera. It's kind of hard to show you and cure it. But I have a disposable brush, and I'm basically just going to cover each one of these with resin. Now, if you wanted to, you could add glitter to it. I think they're just spectacular the way they are. So I don't want to add anything to it. But this will just take a little time and patience in spreading this out. Now the beauty of UVA resin is it doesn't set until you make it set, so you have plenty of time to get it exactly how you want it. Now I'll leave it in my machine until it cures, and because I can't get the whole piece into my machine, I will move the wings around on each side so they each can get in there to cure. Now if you look closely at this, you can see that there's a little divvy in the middle here that I missed, so I'm going to give this another coat so it evens out, but you can see the beauty in just this natural wing. I really hate to lose that. And the other side is a little wavy once again, and there's a little spot on the edge here I missed, so I'm going to give this one another coat also. Now with the second coat, it's a lot easier to coat the wing because it's got some body to it. It's not as frail, it's got some stability, and you can actually hold it a lot better. The first coat I feel is the hardest coat. And I will recure this. Now that I've coated one side, I'm going to flip these over and coat the other. And you can see where this, let me try and pick it up. You can see where it is separated here. I don't know if the wing was naturally broken, if it curled up, what it did, but I'm going to try to adhere that to the other side to try to save this. Now I have my wings coated on both sides, and I think I'm going to give them one more coat just to give them a little bit more body. They're so beautiful. Let me bring them up close. The details have actually magnified with the resin, and they are so delicate and interesting looking. I think I'm going to use these on one of my fairy dolls as wings because they're just so special and so beautiful, but I want to give them probably 2 more coats just to build up some strength to them, and I will do the same to the other side and come back and show you when I'm finished. Now my final cleanup, I've used a little alcohol to get the stickiness off of this, and there's some little rough edges and burrs. I'm just taking an old nail file and just getting all of those out before I give it a final coat that'll make it all soft and even and perfect. And I will actually cover the edges here so that I make sure it's all sealed in. All of these marks will fill in with your resin, so you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, this looks so terrible. Don't worry, smooth it out, make it as even as possible. I do want these to have their natural kind of formation in them. I don't really want to make them do something unnatural, and other than that split that was in that one, and I'm convinced it was just because it was old and died of old age. It may have just had a split in the wing. But to try to keep it together as best as possible, then I will recoat this once again, and you will see when I come back that it'll all be beautiful. But like right down here, I have a little divvy. I want to even all of those spots up and take my time before I finish this, so that I'll have something that I can adhere this to and put it inside when I put this on my dolls or anything else. I'm going to take a little wire that I've put a little loop in, and I'm just going to embed that into the rest of the resin here so that it's nice and tight and it gives me some strength and something to hold it on to. Now here's my monarch butterfly, and you can see he's kind of falling apart. I did find him dead also, just randomly, and he's so beautiful. I just can't stand the thought of wasting such gorgeousness that Mother Nature has given us. So I'm gently just breaking the wings from the body, and I will just be covering them exactly the same as I did the dragonfly, twice on each side. I think this is from another bug I found, but I'm going to keep that anyway. It might be pretty in a piece of jewelry. I'm going to cover that also. But just 2 coats on each side. Add my wire so I can use this for something else. And you can see how it will transform these into a solid piece that I can use in any of my crafts. Now remember, your resin will go underneath some of these butterflies where it's seeping. It's okay because we can cut it on the edges after it bakes or cures. And I actually don't know how old this butterfly is. It's very brittle and starting to tear as I'm brushing on it, so I'm just trying to be really careful with it. As you can see here, I've had a little bit of the resin seep off the side, and I'm just going to take a scissor and trim this off before it builds up into a bigger spot there. You can also take a file and file it, depending on how thick it is, before I redo the other side. And you can see the natural side versus the resin side, how beautiful it is. Now this one's curled up a little on me. I don't care, like I said, I'm using this on a doll as fairy wings, so I think it will actually look really cool curled up. I don't know how to prevent it from curling. This is the first time I've ever worked with natural pieces. Now I have my butterfly wings all finished up, and I have the little pieces on the back, as you can see. And it's a great way that I can put these into some clay or other things, whatever I'm going to use them in, and it's a great way to apply them. You can see that the wings have turned transparent from putting the resin, and if I'm trying to wiggle them around and get them in the right position, like I would have them if I were putting them on a doll. There we go. And you could see that they're nice and shiny now, and they have a really interesting translucency to them that they didn't have before. I personally like it. I think it gives them more of a magical look, and you could include some fine glitter on these if you wanted to. I kind of just like the natural look. I think they're really beautiful. Here you can see my dragonfly wings. Now, this would be the position that I would use them in on a doll or something. They're a little bit wobbly, and I think that's just because that's the shape the wings were. They didn't stick to the paper or anything. They just kind of curled up, but they were in a funny shape when I found them. I guess that's how he died. I don't know really much about dragonflies, but they're really beautiful close up. You can see all the details that naturally form, and they sort of almost crystallized the little pieces inside of the resin. I didn't add any of that black. I haven't added any glitter, any color. The only thing I added was this little wire here so that I could attach them to a doll. But they're really, really beautiful. So I feel bad that this poor little animal had to die, but in the same sense, I'd hate to see such beauty that Mother Nature creates just go to waste. And here's that one wing that I found. I just go on walks with my husband, and sometimes I'll find little things like this, and I'm not sure what I'm going to use it in. I put the little wire in it just so I have something I can attach it to. And you can see on the back, and it's turned a little bit translucent, but it's still a beautiful, interesting piece that you could use in any of your craft work. And you can rebake this type of resin, the UVA resin, with polymer clay. So if you wanted to put this into something and use it for a bead or a brooch, you easily could. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have lots of fun creating neat things with resin.